Am I the asshole because I ate early? We're on vacation with my husband's family. We got here Sunday afternoon, and I was hungry. I made food for myself and my son. My husband said to wait for his family so we could all have dinner together or maybe even go out. It was around 4 o'clock, and he was saying we'd eat at 7. I said I was hungry, and my son and I ate. After that, the three of us sat by the pool. His family arrived around 6, and everyone was hungry and wanted to go out to eat. I don't know if it was the traveling or what, but I was exhausted, so I said I was too tired and would go to bed early. My son stayed home with me because he wasn't hungry and wanted to stay. I woke up early this morning, and I made tea and sat by the pool while my son played. When my sister-in-law woke up, she came out to the pool and told me off for eating early, not going to dinner and being so standoffish. She said everyone wanted to see me and my son, and I was being such a bitch. I said I was tired from traveling. She said if I forced myself to stay awake, I'd be on the same schedule as everyone else. But since I went to bed early and woke up early, I was going to have the same excuse tonight. She also told me off for not making breakfast when I was the first to wake up, but I didn't know when everyone was going to wake up. And no one wants cold breakfast. She just rolled her eyes and walked away. I feel like everyone's been standoffish to me all morning, and I'm wondering if I should apologize. Was I an asshole? Am I the asshole for ruining my brother's marriage? No, I didn't sleep with his wife, so my wife and Sil got pregnant around the same time, just weeks apart, with Sil leading. Wifey pregnancy was hard on her, but she pulled broad, and I did my best to support her, especially since it was our first child. After she gave birth and she had PPD like most women had. But I was prepared for this. I had made around 10 meals prep of her favorite foods and desserts so she could have them exactly when she wanted them, plus it'll allow me to help with our baby girl more. I let her have time to herself whenever she needed it, because if she isn't feeling well, then my baby girl isn't feeling well either. Got her push presents, which included jewelry, shoes and bags she wanted. I really wanted her to transition to motherhood as beautiful as she had made it for me becoming a father to our girl. Now onto the problem. Like I said, my Sil gave birth earlier than my wife. She went low contact for a couple weeks, which I get since I did the same. When I did see her though, I was appalled. She had grown heavy eye bags, wore dirty clothes, and obviously hadn't had time for herself. My brother, on the other hand, looked clean and put together. I didn't say anything since it's not my relationship. On last Sunday, my mom hosted a get-together, and during it, me and Sil were able to talk for a bit. She made a comment about how put together me wife seemed, and she said the labor must have been easy for her. I corrected her, saying it wasn't, and I just took care of her for the first couple of weeks. She asked what I did, and I repeated what I wrote above. She got quiet and looked a bit sad. She mumbled something before heading back inside. I didn't think much of it till yesterday. My brother called me blowing my phone and called me asshole for trying to appeal to his wife. He added how they had a fight, and she said she felt like she wasn't begin cherish tan love like she was supposed to be and needed time to think about their relationship. She went back to her parents' home with the baby. I told him I didn't mean for it to come off like that, and I was just begin honest when we were taking. Didn't work. He called more names before hanging up. My family is mad at me, especially my dad, saying that I was trying to make my brother look bad in front of his wife by flaunting my lifestyle. Am I the asshole for refusing to host any more family get-togethers at our house because I hate hosting my in-laws and their poor manners? My husband and I finally bought our first house, 5-bed 3-bath, a year ago. Over the holidays, we thought we'd take on the role of hosting a few get-togethers. From my perspective, it was hell. I hated every second of it. I never really hosted anything or entertained, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's just that I'm not used to the requirements, but growing up, my mom or dad would host family and they were nothing like this. My in-laws did things like let kids run around screaming, yelling up and downstairs, touching things that didn't belong to them, making messes and not making them clean up after themselves. Parents didn't bring anything for the kids to do and got pissy with us for not having anything for them. Brought a dog into our house, let the dog on the furniture. Left chairs sticking out of tables, counters instead of pushing them in. Stomped around the house with their shoes on despite being asked to remove them. Left trash, paper plates, etc. sitting around or balled up instead of placing it in the trash. Opened multiple bottles, cans of drinks and only took a sip and left it open. Pulled out and used new rolls of toilet paper when there was still plenty left on the rolls. Opened medicine cabinets. Only one person asked if we needed help at any point, and it was my husband's brother's new girlfriend, who we were all meeting for the first time. She offered to help us clean up, bring out food, etc. This was a terrible experience. My husband was shocked at his family's behavior and didn't know what to say. I don't blame him for this at all. He was just a part of the hosting as me, but he was seeing his family through new eyes as well. When he talked to his mom and dad after, they just laughed at us and said that's what hosting is. So, we decided together we would rather not go through all that again. Easter is coming up and my in-laws asked what our plans are. My husband said that we aren't going to host after everyone's awful manners. Am I the asshole for making my daughter shower and pay? I, 45 female, have a 14-year-old daughter, who I'll call Michaela. Michaela has barely hit puberty and is less developed than the majority of her peers, which I believe is something she is self-conscious about. Last week, my husband and I received an email from Michaela's school saying that because it was approaching the summer, it would now be mandatory for all students to shower after pay. I understand the logic. Michaela does pay before lunch, and if she doesn't shower, she'd be sweaty for the rest of the day, which I don't believe is hygienic. The school requested that we pack a towel and any shower gel for the next day lessons to ensure the students were ready. When I mentioned this to Michaela, she said she would refuse to shower. Since the showers are communal, she told me she did not want to be naked in front of everyone else and would just get dressed. I told her she couldn't do this as the school were enforcing it. Plus, I felt it was healthy for her to shower. Again, she asked me to email the school to say she wouldn't be participating, but I refused to do so. On Friday, despite many protests, I managed to make Michaela go to school with her towel, shower stuff packed. I felt like I was doing the right thing. However, when Michaela got home, she'd been crying all day saying how she'd had to get naked in front of everyone to shower and she'd never been so embarrassed because she saw one or two of the girls laughing at her. I told her how sorry I was and that teenage girls are horrible and that she's beautiful, but for hygiene reasons, she still has to shower. I suggested bringing in a swimming costume to wear to showering, but she said that would bring even more attention to her. She begged me to email to school to not let her shower, but I said I had no good reason to, and I'm sure all of the other girls feel the same. She told me she hated me and has barely spoken to me the rest of this weekend. My husband feels I should send an email as it doesn't hurt, and Michaela is clearly bothered, but I don't think it's a big deal. She will eventually get over it, and it's important for hygiene reasons. His mom and dad are upset with us. We have the big house, so they figured it would be on us from now on. We said that the only way we would ever even consider hosting is if every member of his family pitched in some way. They said that defeats the purpose of someone else hosting, and that no one should be expected to pitch in if we offer to host. So we said we won't host. Maybe I'm just not meant to host. But are we truly so far out of bounds to refuse to host anymore because of how his family behaves? Am I the asshole for not disclosing my will? I, 58 male, was recently diagnosed with a terminal condition. Won't get into details, but it was the classical went in with a paper cut, got out with AIDS cancer 2000 situation. I've got roughly a year and a half left. Over time, I've made a bunch of unwise decisions. I have multiple children with different women. I have 3 sons. Lance, 43 male, who has 2 daughters, Mark, 22 male, and Tony, 15 male. And for daughters, Cami, 38 female, who has 4 children, Linda, 30 female, Ronnie, 28 female, and Kathy, 24 female. Not going to lie here, I'll just say that I was only involved in raising Ronnie and Kathy. Their mom died when they were little and I couldn't refuse to take them in. Ronnie is starting her career in law and Kathy recently got her degree in agriculture. 9 years ago I also took in Mark, who was kicked out by his shitty stepdad. Mark decided against pursuing higher education. I own a ranch. It's not a little one, though, but we're managing just fine with the help of hired staff. We have about 500 heads of cattle, not counting the horses. The ranch has been in my family for generations. I know for certain that the only children who would be interested in preserving the ranch are Kathy and Mark. Maybe it's just my delusion grandeur, but I'm very passionate about passing the ranch down to my children, so they'll be able to continue the family tradition. Knowing my children and knowing that they probably inherited my amazing personality, I can say for sure that the second I draw my last breath, there will be an inheritance war vicious enough to make Middle East and Eastern Europe seem like a recess fight in kindergarten. It will be nasty, painful, and disgusting. I wrote a will. As per my will, the ranch will go to Kathy Ann marked 50/50, including all the machines, trucks, other equipment, financial assets. Ronnie, the executor of the will, is getting my 1970s Lincoln Continental. She's the one who's driving this car for the last 5 years, and she's the one paying for maintenance, insurance, everything. The other children get $10,000 each, and Tony gets my car, a 2010 Chevy Suburban, purely because it's a safe car and he's getting his license this year. The grandkids also get $5,000 each. It's not much, but I don't own much either. I've notified my children that I don't have much time left. Of course they asked to see the will. I know that the second they see it, the shit will hit the fan and things will escalate. I don't want it. I don't want to spend my final years seeing my children suffer and fight. Ronnie advised me against disclosing the will. She's a skilled lawyer, so I trust her completely. I refuse to disclose the will, and now my children are enraged. They keep speculating about the will. They keep pestering me and giving advice on what should I leave to whom. Am I the asshole for refusing to disclose the contents of my will? By now, the only ones who know about them are me and Ronnie, and I intend to keep it this way. Down below to any of today's stories. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.